Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. I am Lord Forwind, here playing as Communist China. So the war against Japan is currently in a stalemate, as it should be. Unfortunately, in the south, the nationalists aren't doing so hot. In the north, though, we're holding, but we can't really push them out at the moment. The Soviets are currently losing to the Germans, but they have shifted towards extensive recruitment and actually have some manpower, whereas the Germans are losing what remains of their reserves. Even though they are absolutely demolishing the Soviets, it's kind of disgustingly sad. The Soviets aren't even slowing them down. Well, they are slowing them down, but they're not actually beating them anywhere, which is a problem. This guy is really not that great of a general, looking at him. 1-1-1. Oh, well, what can we expect from a new guy? I think it might be time to research better guns, and then once this is done, we'll research anti-tank weapons. Only reason I'm going for the new gun is because it'll take us forever to actually rebuild our line production once we get to that point. At least we've lost pretty much the exact same amount of casualties we've inflicted on the Japanese, which for China is pretty amazing. Chiang Kai-shek in the south has lost 1.6 million. And the Japanese are actually approaching 1 million, so we've lost a lot less than they have overall. Unfortunately, the Japanese still have almost another 1 million men under arms they can throw into this war. But they're now got secure the Philippines, which I believe is attack the US? No, attack the Philippines. When did they attack the US? That would be Free France, British Malaysia, Dutch Indies, but when do they attack the US? Huh. They must have a mission to attack the US. They did historically. Do they not have one? If so, that feels really weird for the Japanese. Huh. Maybe it's into their naval tree? Huh. I'm not seeing how they actually are going to ever attack the US. Because they did in December of this coming year. Let's send out some infiltration. Hopefully that won't cause too much trouble. Yeah, it looks like it lowered the attrition up there by 1%, which is not a huge gain for me. We're almost up to 900,000 troops on the field, though. 100 divisions. Question is, I don't think the Philippines will be able to slow the Japanese down at all. They've got 8 divisions, that's about it. Oh, they are a puppet of the US, so that's how the US is going to get into the war? Feels a bit clunky, but maybe. There we go. Over 100 divisions now in the field. This guy has no experience whatsoever. Here's how Mao's doing experience-wise. Not so great. How's this guy doing? Halfway to a level. This guy keeps getting the little skirmishes on the border. Well, every single division helps a bit. There we go. Vast offensives should make a difference. boost breakthrough and other stuff. That'll help. Chinese, nationalist China, I should say, still has yet to push them out of southern China, specifically the Fujian region. But they're actually making an effort. They're actually able to damage the tanks, apparently, now. No, they can't. They still can't penetrate the armor. This is where we need anti-tank guns. On the other hand, have I managed to get a tank division on the field? I should be pretty close to one, right? I do. I have enough equipment. It's just training troops now. There's attack the Philippines. Does that call the US to arms? Yes, it does. Okay. The US is now in the war. Perfect. Of course, they're in an entirely different war, but called the Japanese War on the United States. Okay, that's good. I'll offer them all military back and forth. Also, they're moving towards War Plan Black, which will allow them to attack Germany eventually. Oh, hired Soviet designer for our tanks. That'll come in handy. What else? Joint tank development. Yeah, I guess that'll help. Get some benefit from tanks from the Soviets. I think if I get a tank division, I want to throw it under Lin Bao's army. Who knows? Oh, that is actually looking like a serious problem in the south. The Japanese are slowly taking more of the coastline. Problem. Oh yeah, let's see how the Soviets doing. The Soviets are losing ground, but they're still fighting. They've shifted... No, they haven't shifted anyway. They just somehow got more manpower. Okay. The Germans are still holding out manpower-wise. Free France got kicked out of Vichy France. What a surprise. Free France has almost kicked Vichy France out of North Africa, though, at the cost of their Gabon territories. Don't see the English having any forces abroad outside of their troops in the Middle East, which probably is literally just defending like 1 or 2 provinces. But once the US enters, that should skew things a bit. We'll see if the Philippines can hold out against the Japanese. I doubt it, but you never know. I'll offer the Americans military access. Maybe it will allow them to send troops to my area. I doubt it, but considering we're fighting the same enemies, might as well get along, right? Looks like that Japanese division of tanks will be wiped out, though. That's progress. Losing some there. We still haven't made any changes up here in ages. We've got an absurd amount of entrenchment on our troops. That's about it. Don't even have mountaineers. I really should get them out in the field. There's so much more I would do if I had more research, but I'll filtrate another territory, I guess. See, at some point Chiang Kai-shek will realize I'm infiltrating him and try and push me out, but in the meantime, another 2 troops. (108 divisions). The scale of the war over here is definitely ramping up. We've got almost twice the manpower in the field the Japanese do, but it doesn't make any difference at all. But we almost have our first tank division in the field. And we are stockpiling guns. Which means I can afford to try and raise a couple more divisions. For now, at least. No, we don't need that. We're going to appropriate more land again. More land we appropriate, the more we can build up. So in the long run, it's beneficial. Just I'm starting to think we probably should put some civilian factories into production. As painful as that is to say, since we're at war, but... Recovery from the long march is killing us. Doesn't seem to be a way at all to balance that out. Oh, that's a long modifier. Okay, we'll stick you in there. How many factories does Japan have? They've got 40 to 49, we have 19. China has... Oh, stop jumping into the airplane view if you would. They have 16, so we're actually outproducing China at this point. On the other hand, they now have switched to green tax, so they can actually pull out more stuff. But there is a chance for a famine. And they still have moderate inflation. So productivity-wise, we should be higher than them. Ooh, we have a tank brigade. Okay, where is my worst unit here? So you in there. Tank brigade. Tank brigade, yay. That should make a serious difference on the front when it comes to actually being able to beat Japanese armies. What is that? Is that a... Oh, those are Marines. They're deploying the Marines, of course, because the Japanese loved their Marines in World War II. The Marines were the elite troops. The Dutch East Indies are now under attack. How many troops does the Dutch East Indies have? Probably not that much. 6 or so divisions. They do have a lot of manpower reserve, but no factories. What happened there? Did the US just join the Allies? They did. Okay. Time for the war in Europe to shift a bit. The US is in full war deployment mode with, I think, the most factories outside of Germany. Italy's tiny. I always find Italy so weak in this game. Okay, Liberty ships. Amphibious invasion speed is going to start. Free France wants help in our lands. Curious to see how the war will now go. Okay, now all the allies are also at war with Japan. Sadly, I can't get any cooperation with them anymore. I've pretty much used up all my stuff I can do. Might as well finish off the People's Volunteer Army, and then I will shift it over to a continuous focus, since I believe that's all I can do for the time being. Yeah, since I can't do any of these trees. Oh, actually I have to have technology motorized. Then I can do some stuff. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking at some of this. Interesting. Combined arms warfare would be nice. We could get some more mechanical units on the field. We do have some options. They're just not a lot of options. So hopefully this means the Allies are going to send troops through our lands. Poland's still around. Interesting. But I guess the Polish military still hasn't surrendered. Historically, a lot of them survived. Do we want to go for a light tank or a medium tank? Ooh, that is... What are these? Light tank destroyers. Artillery. Anti-air artillery. Okay. I think it would make more sense in the long run to move towards military medium tanks, but... Oh, so many packs of non-aggression. Yes, I get that you don't want war with me since we're on the same side, but seriously. Better light tanks for the time being. We're doing production-wise. We've almost finished off some of the infrastructure. We're now down to only 8% attrition up there rather than 13. So clearly the infrastructure does make a difference. Our ally actually has more there than we do. What's going on? Oh yeah, even more packs of non-aggression. Yes, Yugoslavia. Norway is sending us supplies. There we go. I'm happy with that. More Norwegian supplies. Norway, on the other hand, is, despite being at war with the Germans for quite some time, is still standing. Looks like there's naval warfare going on there. Free France is still having troubles with Italy. Oh, South Africa is being overrun by Italy. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. Well, they're at least putting up a fight, South Africa. Okay, that division's almost fully outfitted. What's going on up here? The Philippines have yet to be invaded, nor the Dutch East Indies. Which should mean really coming down to an allied navy fight against the Japanese in the Pacific. Let's see how that's going. Alliance with Siam, okay. Tora is a thing. You're gonna lose that in a while. Next April. They have 127, 148 ships. The US has significantly more. Curious to see how that war is going to go. Let's see, how are the Soviets doing? The Soviets are still holding out. They're also annexing Tanatuva because that was a necessity. The Germans also somehow have gained a huge boost of manpower. I don't see where they got those guys from, but they got it. Soviets are doing well there. How's Free France doing? They're doing okay. Italy's trying to innovate air stuff. Vichy France is pretty much totally useless in the war. Belgium up to not much. They have no troops. Portugal is staying out of it somehow. South Africa is totally overrun. South Africa might surrender. That would be unexpected, to say the least, if we lost South Africa. What's going on in South America? I do know that the Americans are influencing the governments down there, so most of them will eventually turn democratic. What's Canada up to? Canada has pretty much no troops. I suspect they've been giving them all to the British. Hungary is proclaimed Greater Hungary. Okay, who cares? Siam, ooh, Siam has joined the war though. Yeah, Tuva's gone. British Raj is still having issues with famine and everything else. I don't know if Siam joining this war is going to be a good thing for Siam though. If they join, I suspect they're going to be pounced on by those guys and wiped out. Japanese still have a foothold in the south, but that's about it. Okay, we finished building infrastructure and we've now shifted towards building. Just building. Means I should go for a continuous focus now. I can't do anything else, and we're gonna go for construction engineering. Army training wouldn't be a bad one either. Don't think there's any other ones. I guess construction and engineering is our best one, but not gonna help that much. You know what? Actually, let's take it off. Stop. We could use the additional power to outfit our military better. I don't know how that's going. Anyhow, that should be it for this episode. The Japanese have probably gotten themselves way in over their head in this war. At least we can hope the US will turn the tides. Looks like the Free French have actually landed in Brittany, although it doesn't look like they're going to survive that long. Valiant attempt. Oh, that's a huge amount of troops to add. I need a new general. That's not working. Okay. I like you guys. I just want to select 2 of you. Two of you throw in there. The rest of you, we're going to need another commander. Wow. Which means we're going to be stuck with another really bad general. Politically collected and reckless, sadly. I'll throw you under this guy's guidance, I guess. All of Kiev. Oh, that's not good. Okay, well, I need to end this here. So, the war is progressing as kind of expected. Delay over here. The US has entered the war. Apparently, the Chinese now have 13 million reserve. I have 2 million. Japan is slowly losing troops. I think navally they've lost quite a bit versus the US. The Allies are trying to push into Europe. Not going the best. Italy's almost out of troops. Germany's running down to 1 million. Soviets are having issues as well. Overall, the war is going as it did historically. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.